Hi, dear students. It's been like some time that you haven't been learning and studying English. And this is the first class. And as it is the first class, we are doing revision. Now, welcome all. Yesterday a history, tomorrow's mystery, and today is a gift. That's why we call it a present. This saying includes all the tense references, present, past, and future. And that is all we need for the revision of tenses for this year. Now let's start with present simple. When we take a tense, we focus firstly on the verb form. The verbs have three forms in each tense, and these forms are affirmative, interrogative, and negative. Affirmative form in present simple has two forms, do and does. What is that? So, if I say I, the subject, the verb is I work. But if I take the third person singular, it takes the S or ES. It depends on the cases. So we have I, you, we, they work, and he, she, it works. What about interrogative? Or let's say question form? We should have the structure of auxiliary verb, subject, and main verb. What is the auxiliary verb? In this case, the auxiliary verb is the verb that helps us to make a question, and in present simple is do or does. How does that function? Okay, let's take a question. Where do you live? So, do you live? Do I live? And the negative is formed using the do not, the auxiliary verb and the negative form. Do not, I don't live, and does not for the third person singular. Okay, what about some examples and sentences? Let's take some sentences. The first, she has a younger brother. What does that has show? It shows a fact, and present simple shows a fact. The second one, the plane takes off at 10:15, and that sentence shows timetable. Another sentence is I like pizzas. What is that? What we prefer. That is preferences. When do you usually wake up in the morning? Something that you do every day. And for that reason, that's called a routine. Another sentence is I teach English. Yeah, I teach English. I do not teach maths. And that's a permanent state. What should we remember in present simple is the use of the adverbs of frequency, such as always, usually, sometimes, often, rarely, seldom, and never. They are placed before the main verb and after the auxiliary verb. Another tense is present continuous. The verb form is the verb to be plus verb and ing. So it's am, is, are, doing, or going. The question form is using the auxiliary verb, subject, and main verb. In this case, the auxiliary verbs are these verbs. Am, is, are, the subject, and going is the main verb. Are you speaking now? Are you speaking now? Okay, that's the structure of the question. The negative form is using not. So, I'm not speaking now. You are not speaking now. Or He is not going. You aren't going. What should we remember in present continuous? We should remember that the verbs that end in E, they drop the E and they take ing form, like the verb move, take, have. And another thing that we should remember as far as spelling in present continuous is verbs like tie, die, lie. They make their form in ing by dropping ie and adding ying. Let's take some sentences. I am speaking now. What does am speaking express in this sentence? It's an action at the moment of speaking. Another sentence is, are you seeing her tonight? What does that express? It expresses a future arrangement. They are staying at a hotel. What does that express? It's not a permanent state as we mentioned in present simple, but it shows a temporary state. My sister is always taking my clothes. What does that express? When you say that sentence, even though we have used always, which is used in present simple, in this case, in present continuous, it expresses irritation. That means you are fed up with your sister taking your clothes. Now let's go to another tense. Another tense is past simple. English has some interesting verbs. Why are they called interesting? Because we divide the verbs into regular and irregular ones. What are the regular verbs? The regular verbs take ed in past simple or just d, while irregular verbs, they change their forms. So we have worked, work, worked, laugh, laughed, live, lived, run, ran, see, saw, go, went. So, by saying this, we have covered the affirmative form of the verbs in past simple. How do they form the interrogative form or the question? As we said, the structure of a question is auxiliary verb, subject, and main verb. In this case, the auxiliary verb in past simple is the verb did. Did helps us to form the question. So we have, did you go to school yesterday? Did you meet your friend yesterday? What about the negative form? Did, did not, didn't, didn't go, didn't work, didn't study. We do not add ed in questions and negative. The did covers that part. Now let's see some sentences as we did before. Yesterday, I met my friend. Yesterday is a time expression which requires a past simple, met, irregular verb. Why didn't you call me last week? Interrogative form or question form, another time expression, last week. Let's take the third sentence. They met up, discussed what to do, and went to the cinema. These actions are done one after the other in the past, or actions in a row. The before sentences, the actions are completed actions in the past. Another tense that you have covered the previous year is past continuous. What about the verb form? The verb form, so as in present continuous we have the verb to be plus the verb with ing. So, but as far as the verb to be, in past continuous we have two forms. Was for singular and were for plural form. So we have I was speaking when you came. They were going to the cinema yesterday at 5 o'clock. So I was speaking singular, they were going plural form. What about the question form? I'm repeating it again. To make a question, we should respect the structure. The structure is auxiliary verb, subject, and the main verb. Let's make a question. What were you doing yesterday when I came? Or where was she going when I saw her? That's a question structure. The negative form. So, to form the negative, we should add the not to the auxiliary verb. In this case is wasn't going and weren't going. Let's go to the sentences. She was listening to the music yesterday at 5 o'clock. Was listening is an action in progress at a specific time in the past. Which is the specific time? At 5 o'clock. Let's go to the next sentence. While, that's a good time expression to be used in past continuous. While they were sailing, they crashed into a rock. While they were sailing, they crashed into a rock. So that means an action interrupted by another action in the past. Another sentence is, my mother was doing the dishes while my dad was not watching TV, but he was cooking. Now we have the time expression while. We have two past continuous used in the sentence, and they both happen at the same time in the past. We say two actions happening simultaneously in the past. Another tense you have dealt with is present perfect. As far as I'm concerned, I like this tense. How is the verb formed? We have the verb have, has, and the past participle of the main verb. Have and has are also used as auxiliary verbs. Past participle, in this case, is gone. So, for every verb, we have some forms. We have go, the basic form, to infinitive or bare infinitive. We have the past simple, if I'm talking about irregular verbs, which is went in this case, and gone is the past participle. I have gone there several times. You have gone there, they have gone, we have gone. Has is used for the third person singular. So he, she, it has gone. What about the question form? As I mentioned before, have and has are also used as auxiliary verbs. So we form the question, have you ever gone to Italy before? Has she ever done something? The negative form is used with not. So we have haven't gone, hasn't gone. Sentences. Ron has visited his grandparents. Has visited. What is that? What does it show? Shows an action at an unstated time in the past. What does that mean? So the action has happened in the past, but we do not precisely know when. Let's take the second sentence. I have taught English for 20 years. Or I can say the same sentence using since, like I have taught English since 20 years ago. Present perfect in this sentence shows a period of time, an action that lasts for a period of time. Have a look at the third sentence. It's the first time, and we do not use the present simple but the present perfect. It's the first time I have appeared on TV. What is that? That is as far as experience is concerned. The fourth one, she is looking for her purse. She can't find her purse. And the sentence is, she has lost it. What is that? An action in the past with a visible result in the present. Which is the visible result? The visible result is she is looking for something. The next sentence is, they have already, or they have just read the book. So we have these adverbs, already, just, and yet, used in present perfect. Have you finished the project yet? Yet is used in questions and negative forms. I haven't done it yet. These are some sentences which show the use of present perfect. Another tense that you have dealt with is past perfect. Which is the form of past perfect? For all the subjects, we have had and the past participle of the main verb. In that case is the verb go, gone. So I had gone, you had gone, he, she, it had gone, we had gone, they had gone. As far as the question form, as the verb has two parts, one of them is used as the auxiliary verb and the other as the main one. So, had you gone there before something happened? The negative form hadn't gone. Now, what is the use of past perfect? Let's see some sentences. I had prepared these slides before I came here. We have two verbs and two tenses. Came, past simple, and had prepared, past perfect. So, had prepared, had happened before I came. So, past perfect is used to express an action before another action in the past. In this case, the time expression is before. Another sentence is, by the time they arrived at the airport, the plane had already taken off. So, they lost their plane because the plane had taken off before they arrived. They were too late. Another sentence to be used in past perfect is, I had finished cooking when my son got home. These are some sentences for past perfect. What you should remember in past perfect is that we should have a reference in the past, and the actions that happened before that action in the past take past perfect. Okay, quiz time. We have dealt with some tenses. Now let's see some sentences. They aren't difficult. Have a look at the first one. Mary, love, chocolate. That's the first. What do you think? Which is the correct form of the verb? When I say love means I like, I prefer, so preferences. What was preferences? Present simple. So Mary loves chocolate. We have the third person singular. Let's go to the second. My friends play outside now. Let's see. What do we have in this sentence that helps us to put the verb in the correct tense? We have this now. Let's remember. Now requires a present continuous form. So the sentence is, my friends are playing outside now. Fairly easy, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. The third, I hike. You know, hike. Kind of climb, kind of walking, kind of riding. This mountain twice so far. What does the sentence show? We have twice, we have so far. So we have experiences and the period of time, which combined together require us to use the present perfect. And that is, I have hiked, regular verb, this mountain twice so far, or up to now. Let's go to the fourth one. Chris, be, is, am, one of the form of the verb to be, an excellent player, but today she not play well. That means that Chris, generally speaking, is an excellent player. But today, temporary state, different from the other days, she is not playing well. So, is present simple, is not playing present continuous. Two tenses used in the same sentence. Let's go to the next one. Jane, study is the verb, a lot before she take the final exam last Monday. When we have these sentences to put the verbs in the correct tense, we should look for the clues. Now, which is the help that is given to us? Is there any time expression? Yes. Last Monday. Last Monday is a time expression that we use for past simple. But we have also before, that means an action in the past and another action before that action. So we have Jane had studied a lot before she took the final exam last Monday. Okay, I'm repeating it. Jane had studied a lot before she took, irregular verb again, the final exam last Monday. Let's go to the last one. I lie. Be careful with lie, it has two meanings. On the bed, okay, one of the meanings. When you call, which is the correct one? Can I say I am lying on the bed when you call? So, I was lying, be careful with the spelling of this verb, L-Y-I-N-G, on the bed when you called me. And that is as far as tenses. So, thank you for listening and have a nice day.